Out in the wild, your survival depends on having the right information. A bad map can be more dangerous than no map at all, leading you into a swamp when you think you're heading for high ground. It gives you a false sense of security, and that's a killer. In the journey of life, a lot of us are using a bad map when it comes to the biggest question of all: what happens after? The common belief, the map most people follow, says that if you're a good person, if you do more good than bad, you'll reach the ultimate summit, heaven. It seems logical, right? It feels fair. But in the unforgiving wilderness of spiritual truth, what feels right and what is right can be two very different things. This idea that our good deeds are a currency we can use to buy our way into heaven is probably the most widely held belief on the planet. I've met people in every corner of the globe, and most share this fundamental assumption. They believe in a cosmic scale where their acts of kindness, charity, and integrity are weighed against their mistakes. As long as the good side is heavier, they figure they're in the clear. It's a comforting thought, suggesting we are in control of our own destiny. But my faith, the anchor that has held me fast in the worst storms, tells me this map is fundamentally flawed. The truth I've come to rely on, the one that has been my compass in life's most treacherous terrains, is that getting to heaven isn't about being good enough. It's not a mountain you can climb on your own strength, no matter how skilled or determined you are. Following that path is like trying to cross an ocean in a leaky raft you built yourself, thinking your own effort will keep you afloat. You might do well for a while, but eventually the vastness of the ocean and the flaws in your vessel will win. The real map, the one given to us by the creator of the wilderness itself, points to a completely different route. In any environment, there are rules. In the jungle, you learn which plants are poison and which plants are food. In the Arctic, you learn that even a small amount of moisture from sweat can freeze and kill you. These aren't suggestions, they are absolute laws of nature. If you break them, you face the consequences, regardless of your intentions. The spiritual world has its own absolute law, and it's set by the one who created it all, God. The Bible describes God as perfect, holy, completely without fault. His standard isn't good or pretty good. His standard is absolute perfection. It has to be. Imagine trying to enter a completely sterile, clean room, zero germs, zero dust, zero imperfections. Now imagine you've just spent a week trekking through a muddy swamp. No matter how much you try to clean yourself up, you will still carry contaminants with you. You simply cannot make yourself sterile enough to enter. That's the dilemma we face with God. Heaven is his home. It's a place of absolute purity and holiness. His standard for entry is matching that perfection. That's a standard none of us can meet on our own. Any imperfection, no matter how small, separates us from his perfect presence. When you're navigating a glacier, the most terrifying danger isn't the biting cold or steep ice walls, it's the hidden crevasse. A deep, dark crack in the ice, often covered by a thin, fragile snow bridge. You can be walking along, thinking you're on solid ground, and in an instant, the ground gives way and you are plunging into darkness. This is the best picture I have for what the Bible calls sin. Sin is the deep crack in our very nature, a fundamental brokenness that separates us from God. We're all born on that glacier, and we're all born with this flaw. We've all inherited it from the very first humans who chose to walk away from God. This inherent brokenness is why our good deeds can't save us. In a survival situation, there comes a point where your own strength is not enough. Your grit can fail you. You can be the toughest person alive, but if you're swept away by a flash flood, your toughness is irrelevant. You need a rescue from an outside force, a helicopter, a lifeline, something you didn't create and don't control. This is the essence of grace. Grace is a gift, something you did not earn and do not deserve. The rescue helicopter shows up when you're clinging to a rock in a raging river. Christianity is unique among world religions because it's not based on a ladder of human achievement. It's not about us climbing up to God. So if we're stuck on one side of a massive chasm separated from God by our sin, how do we get across? We need a bridge. But not just any bridge, it has to span the infinite gap between our imperfection and God's perfection. The Christian faith says Jesus is that bridge. He is the only way across. On that cross, Jesus, the only perfect man, willingly took the full weight of our sin, all our failures, selfishness, and brokenness upon himself. His resurrection 3 days later proved the payment was accepted. It declared the bridge complete and secure. He is the bridge, the only bridge, because only he could stretch from human imperfection to divine perfection. It was the victory shout echoing across the chasm. The way is now open. Once a rescue line is thrown to you, it really does you no good if you don't grab it. You can admire the rope, be grateful to the person who threw it, even tell everyone else what a great rope it is, but if you don't personally take hold of it, you're still going down. This right here is the essence of faith. Faith isn't just mentally agreeing that Jesus is the bridge. Faith is the act of grabbing the rope. It's trusting your entire weight to it. The Bible makes it incredibly simple. Believe in your heart that God raised Jesus from the dead. Declare with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, your rescuer, your guide, the boss of your life. You will be saved. It's that straightforward. To understand why good deeds alone are not enough, let me tell you a story. Imagine a wealthy and loving father. He has a son who, years ago, left home after a bitter argument. The son wants nothing to do with his father. He never calls, never writes. He wants to make his own way in the world. Now, this son is not a bad person. In his new city, he's known for his kindness. He volunteers, donates to charity. He's a good neighbor. By all accounts, he is a model citizen. He does many good things. One day, the father hosts a huge family celebration at his home. It's a feast for his children. He sends an invitation to his estranged son. Please come home, all is forgiven, I love you, and I want you here with me. The son receives the invitation. He thinks, I don't need his forgiveness, I'm a good person now, I don't need my father, so he ignores the invitation and doesn't show up to the feast. Why isn't the son at the party? The simple reason, he didn't want a relationship with his father, he chose to remain separate. Heaven is not a reward for good behavior, it is the Father's home. When a rescue is complete, the relationship between the rescuer and the rescued changes, but with God, it goes so much deeper. When you accept the rescue offered through Jesus, he adopts you. You become his son. You become his daughter. You are brought into the family. This is the most incredible part of the whole deal. Think back to the story of the distant son. Imagine he had a change of heart. He realized his good deeds felt empty without his father's love. He swallows his pride. He travels home. The father sees him. The father runs and throws his arms around him. He says, "Welcome home, I've missed you." This is why heaven is closed to those who reject a relationship with God, no matter how good they are. Forcing that estranged son to the family party would be awkward. Heaven is intimate fellowship with God. Without loving him, knowing him, wanting to be with him, that would be a kind of hell. Accepting the rescue is the start of the adventure, not the end. Being saved by grace through faith is like being airlifted from the bottom of the crevasse and set down at a base camp halfway up the mountain. You are safe, you are secure, you are with the guide. But the summit is still ahead. The rest of your life is the final ascent, the journey you now take with God, not for him. You learn to walk like him, you learn to talk like him, you learn to love the things he loves. The pressure is off. You no longer have to live with the crushing weight of trying to be good enough. You are already accepted, you are already loved. So the surprising truth is that good people don't get into heaven, and neither do bad people. Forgiven people do. It's a truth that has been my compass and my anchor through every storm life has thrown at me. It's not about being a good person. It's about having a great Savior.